Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie, or Dr. Ruth Neustifter if you want to be formal. I'm a professional sex educator, and I also blog over at exploringintimacy.com. I'm the author of The Nice Girl's Guide to Talking Dirty, but today I'm here with funwares.com answering your questions, all sorts of creative questions this month about sex and relationships, and I am glad to be here, so make sure you thank funwares.com for me and say hi. Here is an email that just came in. Looks like it's got a pseudonym, so hopefully it's okay that I share this. Dr. Ruthie, I'm currently in a relationship with a girl who has experimented with master-slave relationships, or BDSM, if you want to go Google those letters. As for me, I've generally seen relationships as a total equality type of situation. Even so, I still try to be flexible, so I offered to participate in a simple role play where I would be the master, and she seems to be excited about it. I know enough about master-slave to know that it's important to have a safe word as well as an agreement on boundaries ahead of time, so I'm okay with that. The problem is that this is my first time doing any kind of role play, so I have a few questions for you. The first is, what are some good ways to get into character and to keep the character going throughout the role play? The second is, how do I know when it's time to end the play and come back to normality? And my last question is, do you have any suggestions for ways to execute the master-slave scenario effectively so that it will be enjoyable for her? Thanks, Mr. Equality. Thanks so much for writing in these questions. I will do the best I can to answer them in this short video. I'm so glad that you want to do this in a way that's enjoyable for both of you. The first thing that I want to do is clear up a very common misperception about quality, enjoyable, safe, sane, healthy S&M relationships or role play, and that is the notion that although we're playing with power, and the distribution of power is such that it's taboo, and we have a master and a slave, or whatever roles you want to call them. Really, the person who is in the submissive or subservient role has just as much, if not more, power than the person who's calling the shots. Why? Because the person who's calling the shots, while they may be doing things that they enjoy, really is calling the shots in a way based around the submissive person's best interests. So even if let's say the master is like, oh, I really want to get some oral sex from my sweet little subby girl or boy, whatever the case may be, they are still planning kind of the play-by-play or how they're going to do the domination in a way that is built around making sure that the submissive partner is getting what they need to love submitting. And if the submissive partner is ever experiencing any kind of discomfort, emotional or physical, in a way that is not erotic for them, that's what the safe word is for, or whatever kind of communication you feel. And oftentimes safe words have two levels. We have the we don't need to stop, but I want to take this any further than this level, and then we have the we need to stop immediately. And people use the stoplight scenario. Yellow for don't take any farther, red for everything ends, snuggle me now, or whatever the case may be. So as you're planning and choreographing this in your mind, there's a lot of responsibility in planning and choreography involved for the top. You are remembering that it is based around getting what you want in a way that really helps them satisfy their needs or desires to submit to you. So there's a lot of power in being the submissive person in this case. The wrong kind of eep changes everything when you're the submissive, and that's a lot of power to have. So knowing your boundaries ahead of time, very good, very good. So the first question is, what are some ways to get into character and keep that character going throughout the role play? Delve into your fantasies. This isn't just about her, this is about you and what you find sexy too. So oftentimes in fantasies and role play, there's a lot of power involved, even though we don't necessarily think of it that way. So think of your sexiest fantasies, scenes from movies, especially like mainstream movies instead of porn, because there's usually a little more plot involved. Think of those sorts of videos or movies that you've seen or books that you've read, and what kind of fantasies from that really call out to you, and then who is calling the shots and who is enjoying being subservient there. That can be a great place to start and pattern yourself after. You can also think of a time when you felt at your most confident and then start to weave that into a story as well. That can be excellent. Feel a little more natural that way. A good prop or two that really helps you get into the role is excellent. For instance, if being like a power CEO really does the thing for you, like an awesome tie and a suit, which you can get them at Goodwill or you can get them at the expensive place, whatever. If it makes you feel like, hey, when I put this on, I look at myself, I feel different, I see myself differently, perfect. For some people it's leather, for some people it's a smoking jacket, whatever. Um, the second, how do I know when it's time to end the play and come back to normality? This is a really important question and a very good one. And it's important to pre-plan your role play, hopefully together, not like a whole script that kills the mood unless a script enhances your mood, but for most people it seems to give them performance anxiety. um, to know kind of what that ultimate pleasure act is. And it may be something that she considers pleasurable that, or you consider pleasurable that is not necessarily sex, or it may be some sort of sex act, but you know kind of what you're slowly winding and moving yourself toward. So if her submissive fantasy is to lay back and be ravished by you, then know what that ravishment means, what acts are involved in that, and then you know to kind of move your way to that. Having a little ritual to get in and out of it can be helpful too. People like to wear a collar oftentimes, and the putting on and the removing of the collar can really be important, or another piece of jewelry or another accessory of clothing. That can be a great part of the ritual, holding hands with at the same time, maybe changing how you refer to each other. So sexy little names that she likes to be called when she's being subservient, sexy big names you like to be called when you're being at top, when you're being dominant. That combination of a verbal and a physical kind of signal to begin and end, those little rituals of transition are wonderful ways to come back to normalcy after your pre-agreed upon wonderful climactic moment that you guys want together. And the last question is, do you have any suggestions about ways to execute this master-slave scenario effectively so it will be enjoyable to her? Remembering that essential part of the role play is really important, and having ways to communicate about it without getting like overly immersed in the planning or the scripting. So get yourself some short story erotica books. There's plenty of them out there where the guys are the more dominant, stronger characters, whether it's officially kink erotica or not. And, get yourself a pair of highlighters, 2 different colors. Highlight the parts that you find sexy. Exchange. And then, you can see their highlights. You see her highlights, whatever. And then highlight around and look and see what you both liked. What you liked, what she liked, what you both liked. And talk about those sexy stories together. You may even want to kind of pattern your own interlude after one of those sexy stories. So just an idea for you. You can also find great suggestions on how to do DS stuff well at a website called kinkacademy.com. It's a subscription site. I don't normally make commercial recommendations in these sex ed videos, but they do really fine work over there, so you might want to go ahead and check them out. I hope that all of this helps you, and that the two of you have fun together, and write me back. Let me know how it goes. I'm Dr. Ruthie, and I'll see you at the next video.